Hello, everyone. This is Anders, and I am here to announce some of the most exciting rule changes that have happened in the Florida retirement system since 2011. Now, we're going to be making other videos because a lot of stuff happened, but in this video particularly, we're going to talk about the four changes to the FRS drop plan. The first change to the Florida retirement system drop program is the interest rate. So as of July 1st, 2023, the interest rate is going from 1.3% up to 4%. Now, a lot of you know back in 2011, before July 1st of 2011, they lowered the rate from 6.5% down to 1.3, which was terrible. Then it stayed that way all the way up now. So 12 years later, now it's going back up to 4% for any money in the Florida retirement system drop program after July 1st of 2023. Now that might sound like a huge deal for you, but remember, that's the money that's in there for the time that's in there, right? So your first year, let's say it's $2,000 a month that is going into the drop system. It's your pension paid in over 5 or now 8 years. We're going to get into that. But let's say that that's the case. Well, the first month you're going to have 2,000, then you're going to get 4 divided by 12 that month, and then you're going to have 4. So for some of you, it's not going to make as big of a difference as you might think. For others, it might make a huge difference depending on how much your drop balance is. So what I'm going to do is in a later video, we're going to show you the difference that drop will make. That 4% interest rate compounded over your 5 or 8 years is going to make in your drop account. But we're going to do that in a future video. Just know that as of July 1st, 2023, now the drop interest rate is 4% instead of 1.3. The next change is when you're eligible to go into drop. Now you still have to be full retirement age. Full retirement age has changed as of July 1st of 2023, only for special risk employees. So first responders, police officers, anyone who is considered special risk, the retirement age has changed for them. We're going to get into that in a future video. But for everyone else, retirement age is still the same. Now, you still have to be full retirement age when to go into drop. The thing that has changed is now you do not have to go in within a year of when you are eligible. Before, it was basically use it or lose it. You had to go in within a year of when you're eligible, or 57, whichever one's first. But now you can extend as long as you want. So you can work and have 35 or 40 years and then decide to go into drop. You can work until you're 67 or 70 and then go into drop. You do not have to go in within a year of entering drop. Before, the only people who could do that were instructional, K through 12 instructional employees. Now that benefit extends to everybody. Okay, so you heard me tease it before. The third, and probably for most of you watching this video, most important change to the drop system is the amount of time you're allowed to stay in the drop. It has changed from a maximum of 5 years for a lot of people up to 8. Now, before, people could extend, but only certain people that were approved by their employer. Now anybody can extend up to 8 years in drop. So if you're you have 5 years in drop coming up soon, and you want to extend that, as long as your employer agrees to it, you can extend up to 8 years now, which is great. It means more money in drop. Maybe you get to go a little bit longer to gap the difference of whether or not you're going to hit 65, have your insurance paid for by your employer a little bit longer. So that's a really good benefit for a lot of people. Now, you heard me say that there were 4 rule changes. So that was only 3. What's the 4th one? Well, for instructional employees, they've always been able, K through 12 instructional employees, they've always been able to extend up to 8 years. Now they can extend up to 10 years. That is right, a decade in drop is what K through 12 instructional employees are allowed to do. Now, does it make sense to go into drop for a decade? We're going to do another video on that. We've actually already done a video on the pros and cons of going to drop. We're going to go ahead and link that up here. But we're going to do other videos on when it makes sense to use these rules, when you should go into drop, should you wait that long? And then we will kind of go over this and break it down. But I wanted to make sure that you all knew of these rule changes effective July 1st, 2023. Very excited for everybody. If you have any questions, if you want to sit down, strategize about this, come up with a plan, see how it impacts you, discuss more with one of our advisors, there's a link below in our where you're watching this video. Also, on top of that, if you want more information like this about the Florida retirement system, about retiring from as a state employee or a county employee or a school board employee in the state of Florida, make sure you subscribe to the channel that you're on, because we're going to do updates. And if you're subscribed, they're going to let you know when we do those updates, and you'll be able to see them. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Really happy for all of you. And we will talk to you soon.